29.
29, we've not gotten any more.
We might be at 30 by now, but
Ten of those were
10 were townhomes.
over in the Shadow Creek area, so. Gotta plug through those. So those can always be, I mean, they cost us 10 amounts of work, but it's really just 2 buildings getting built, so.
Oh,
Cause they're
Yeah,
5 units
five.
each.
like row houses or whatever.
Are the single family a lot of DR Horton again, or are they?
Yeah, the majority of them.
It's been what, half them, half
Greenlit homes.
other people?
And they're all, are they still Brodies or are they doing out at Timber Ridge too?
Both. Yeah.
Hey, Donna.
Megan, we have Jeff on these.
Oh, okay.
Out of a house in Tiffany, or Tony, last, and her husband. It was, is one of those. Yeah, big one. That's what it's a one with the. Cause he built them all there too.
Mhm.
And she was.
There I am, right now.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember. Are they?
There I am.
You know, I don't know, they might be just a one-stop shop.
You know, I got my head.
I've not worked there before beyond, yeah, I've not looked at
Wow,
Do that.
so crazy. It was like the traffic that's showing up on our streets now. It's like,
you know, I've not seen.
And then
that. First house I bought
Jason's
15 years ago was
Oh,
a flat.
yeah.
the flowers are piling.
Right, and so it was.
You would go
Which is
list with
great,
them, but then the realtors wouldn't show it to you, show you them because they want to get their commission on the other side of it, so.
Yeah, cause that, yeah, I guess.
I don't know if they do it, if there's some way they do it like that, they
Say
say,
go their own marketing, as long as they don't put them in multiple lists. I think
Yeah.
the multiple listing service didn't have.
Yeah.
Right, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, how are you?
Right, to get on that list.
Had to get some caffeine in. I was like, after last night, yeah, and then tonight, could be late. Good.
Yeah. The RS
Lorraine.
Oy, 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 oy.
It's just a computer.
Yeah.
Set my volume.
Do anything fun for Easter?
Just getting together with my folks and Jessica and her husband and Ella. Ella will do her Easter egg hunt, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be fun. We'll be just go back for that.
Well, my one in Ames probably, well, yes, and then my Jason's out in West Des Moines, and so, yeah, there's his girlfriend's sister decided to be like. friends, you know, and I'm like, not sure she's gonna get any eggs, but yeah, but they're,
That's probably that way.
hi, but there's basketball, so.
Push the walls out, if that was all compacted.
Should have done
That
that.
Feel serendipitous, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Give it the.
need caffeine actually, so.
Give you steak.
I was just gonna ask what that was.
It's a seltzer water.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Uh-huh.
So then you just add the bucket in.
You just talk, but yes, typically, there's one that's a ginger lime mule. You're like,
There you go. Makes it too easy.
uh-huh.
At least I know.
Well, it's,
Sticky and it's full of hair. That's gross.
Gotcha.
Don't think too much about what's sticky.
I know anymore.
Yeah.
until I.
Spider is not nice.
Yeah.
It should be. Good.
Hopefully we can run.
Yeah,
go
I'm
fast.
here.
Right?
We see each other. Kind of makes, keeps everything fresh.
There you go.
I didn't even have time to go through my emails.
Younger ones didn't do that.
Oh, we got Andrew on Zoom.
Or some other tiger.
Excellent.
here, guys.
I'm a little under the weather. Sorry for those of you who didn't hear that already, so.
Sorry.
I sound a little funny.
It's okay, Elliot. We're all under the weather today.
Amen, brother.
I didn't even have time to go through my emails.
Got a full commission tonight.
Tonight go.
Last night? Yeah, it was a late one.
Are we good technology wise?
After oversight.
I gave up first forward. They said I have to run away, but. I missed one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll catch up.
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
I will now call to order the March 25th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Samuelson,
Here.
Forrest,
Here.
Grant,
Here.
Caldwell,
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Steiger,
Here.
Reginator.
Here. Also, it's 5:45, Hillary.
Thank you.
Thank you to Jeff and Andrew for joining us via Zoom tonight. Item number 3 is the approval of tonight's agenda. Any changes to the agenda for tonight? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda.
Thompson motions.
4 seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Item number 4 is the approval of our February 26th, 2024 minutes. Any changes to the February 26th minutes? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the February 26th, 2024 minutes.
Is that your motion?
Grant motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 5 is the approval of our March 4th minutes. Any changes to the March 4th minutes? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the March 4th, 2024 minutes.
Samuelson, a motion.
4 second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 6, I'd like to welcome everyone who's joined us tonight here in person and on the Zoom. Are there any members of the public who wanted to make a comment on an item that is not on tonight's agenda? Hearing nothing, we'll move on to item number 7, which is a public hearing and recommendation on a comprehensive plan amendment to change 8800 County Line Road from future agricultural reserve to future commercial industrial flex. We're going to be briefed on items number 7 and 8, which are separate public hearings at the same time. So I will open the public hearing for item number 7 at 5:48 p.m. Elliot, would you brief us on these items, please?
Yep, so this item was before you guys a few meetings ago. And this is related to the property owner's wish to develop the property into a commercial enterprise for stick and ball sport training. It's currently zoned RE1, rural estates residential, so he needs to get a zoning amendment to commercial C1. In order to do that, we want to get the future land use adjusted to a compatible category. And so that is in this item, commercial industrial flex. That matches what is across from Veterans Parkway to the southeast and would permit the zoning amendment to C1, which is the subject matter of item number 8. So that's your refresher. I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any on this item.
Elliot, can you, sorry to jump in for you guys, are we just changing the one lot? Or are we changing the entire triangle?
It's that one lot.
Okay.
Okay, so, and the reason it's back before you guys, city council wanted them to get a petition of neighboring property owners to sign off on the request. And they did that. And so that's why it's before you guys.
They were all good.
Yeah. So city of West Des Moines and the neighboring property owner to the west added up to the required allotment of property owned who needed to sign off on said petition.
And is there anyone here tonight on behalf of the applicant? Any questions from the commission before we close the public hearing? Okay, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 5:50 PM. And now we can deliberate on item number 7. I think we kind of had our deliberation when it came before us before, so I'm good with getting that consistent with how council wanted us to handle it.
I will make a motion to approve it. The recommendation on the comprehensive plan, change the address classification to commercial industrial flex.
Thompson will second.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Thompson.
Aye.
Steiger.
Aye.
Samuelson.
Aye.
Forrest.
Aye.
Grant.
Aye.
Caldwell.
Aye.
Reagan.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Similarly, moving to item number 8, this is a public hearing and recommendation on a zoning amendment to change 8800 County Line Road from RE1 Single Family Rural Estates to C1 Neighborhood Commercial. We'll open this public hearing at 5:51 PM. And we've already gotten our staff brief. There's no one here to make a comment for the applicant. Any questions about this piece by the commission before we close the public hearing? I guess I should have asked Elliot, anything else for us to know about this item specifically?
No.
Okay. So hearing nothing, I'll close the public hearing at 5:51 PM. And we can deliberate on this motion, or I'll just entertain a motion to approve.
Grant will make. a
Steiger.
motion. Oh, to approve.
Go ahead.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Steiger.
Aye.
Samuelson.
Aye.
Forrest.
Aye.
Grant.
Aye.
Caldwell.
Aye.
Thompson. Reagan.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Item number 9 is another public hearing. It is 5:52 PM. This one is a recommendation on a zoning amendment related to the regulations, definitions, and terminology for the city's floodplain development regulations. 5:52, Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
We'll pass this one off to Luke.
So
Who's gonna-
every few years, DNR and FEMA work with the city to review our current floodplain ordinance and regulations. And then they recommend changes to those. So this is simply accepting those changes. There's nothing that's real substantial to it. A lot of it revolves around some different terminology that they've used. We had base flood instead of 100-year flood, and they started using the term development instead of the term use. So a lot of the changes are related to that. The more substantial ones listed in the staff report there are changes to requiring electrical and plumbing to be elevated above the base flood elevation. Before, you just had to waterproof those elements. And then there's this idea of maximum damage potential development. Really, that's just identifying things like hospitals or places that store hazardous materials and stuff. And then there's some additional requirements on where those can be. And probably the most substantial change to it would be the last bullet point there is they're recommending that a development be allowed in the floodplain overlay district without obtaining a special use permit. How the code currently reads is if you want to do something in that area, you have to go to the Board of Adjustment and get a floodplain permit from them. From a staff perspective, that's a change. We're generally supportive of that change. Most of the times we've had floodplain development permits come through, they've been related to city projects or bridges or things within the floodway that we would anticipate things happening. And so it's kind of been like a rubber stamp extra step we had to go through for those. I don't think it's not going to let things happen in the city that would all of a sudden be detrimental to development in floodplains if we decide to do that. I don't believe that if we decided to go back and continue to allow the Board of Adjustment to do it, I don't think FEMA or DNR would have a problem with that. It's just, that was their recommendation. So we talked about it internally and we're kind of good with that going forward, so.
Is that a floodplain down there by North River? Down at
Yes. Yep.
Down by the.
Yep, so our big floodplains are the North River and then some minor areas along Middle Creek and Lake Colchester.
How far does it come up towards Windsor and
Oh, not close at all.
just to the garage, to the car guy? Or
Yeah, kind of just a little bit north of there, and it kind of ebbs and flows as the river does there, but yeah. It's most of the city park we purchased down there was within floodplain. There's some of it out of it. And then just as you go west along North River, it's probably varies between a couple 100 feet to maybe 500 for its width, so.
Any other questions for Luke by the commission before we close the public hearing? Hearing nothing, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 5:56 PM. And now the commission can deliberate on this item if there's any deliberation.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Great. Hillary, would you call a roll, please?
Samuelson,
Aye.
Forrest,
Aye.
Grant,
Aye.
Caldwell,
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Steiger,
Aye.
Reginator.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Item number 10 is our last public hearing tonight. This is a recommendation on a zoning amendment to change 7.73 acres north of Chatham Avenue and East 18th Street from unclassified PUD to those allowed uses as permitted in land use parcel G, and to permit water tower as a principal use. We'll open the public hearing at 5:57 PM. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Yep, so I I did my best to summarize what was going on with this in the staff report. There's kind of two pieces to what's going on here. Part of it is city business, part of it is private business. The water tower component would be the city business. In between the two context maps, you can see that there's a lot to the eastern limits of vicinity that the city owns, and we're intending to construct a new water tower there. And in order to just make a cleaner zoning process, we're proposing the water tower be added as a permissible use in the PUD land use parcel, which is E. And then the second part of this, we're kind of just piggybacking in one motion, is the private side. The landowners and investors here who have been part of the subdivision on the west edge of this, which you guys saw fairly recently in Hughes Century Crossing Plat 8. We've been in consultation with them about what they want to do land use wise, and have advised that they approve TC zoning. Now, when we originally authored the PUD, the way that this area of the PUD was structured was to allow the same uses as those in other PUD parcels. So in a roundabout sort of way, permitting TC zoning by declaring that we can permit matching uses from another area of the PUD. It's a little bit confusing, but essentially what we're proposing in the ordinance is to allow those uses permissible in land use parcel G, which is by and large TC zoning, so town center commercial. I believe the intent is mostly to develop this area in a commercial fashion. The reason that we wanted to keep it as permitting those uses in parcel G rather than straight TC is because in consultation with the applicant, they've indicated a desire to include a drive-through as one of their site plan elements, which is currently allowed in parcel G with a special use permit. If we went straight TC, they wouldn't have that option. So we're trying to match what's permissible elsewhere in the PUD in this land use area. So hopefully that's not too confusing, but I'm happy to take any questions on it. And that's about all I have unless Luke has anything.
The only thing I'd add to that is why we're doing the amendment is that parcel E, when the PUD came forward, the developer had some thoughts on what it could be. We didn't know how successful we'd be at getting Chatham put all the way across. So there was like the potential for it to be industrial ground. So we had some IC ground there thinking that maybe that would be a way to get state dollars to help build that road if we needed. We had the parcel GTC town center stuff, and then we had a couple residential components that we were gonna allow. But we specifically said in the PUD, before you can do any one of those four things, you have to come back and do this amendment process to set it at that. So that way, we know that that southern half of this thing is now gonna be the parcel G town center. The stuff to the north of it is still gonna be parcel E and can be one of those four, and they'll have to come back with a PUD amendment for the northern half at some point when they have a project in mind for that.
Is there anyone here on behalf of the applicant that would like to speak on item number 10?
Evening Commission, Jason Ledden with Snyder and Associates. Our business address is 2727 Southwest Snyder Boulevard in Ankeny, here on behalf of the applicant. As Elliot mentioned, the goal for this is really the development portion today is going to be that southwest corner. But we envision kind of this TC commercial frontage all along Chatham there to kind of pull all of that from the park there and continue this commercial. We're not quite sure what's gonna happen on the back yet, so we haven't looked at any rezoning there yet. Kind of why we just keep it frontage for now. So, yeah.
When you say the back, you just mean everything north of what's in this picture here.
Of the line that's shown in the crosshatch area, correct?
Any other questions for the applicant by the commission? Or questions for staff before we close the public hearing? Thank you. Hearing nothing, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:02 PM. And now we can deliberate on this item, if any deliberation is necessary. There's nothing, I'll entertain a motion to approve the zoning amendment.
Second motion.
Grant second.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Forst,
Aye.
Grant,
Aye.
Caldwell,
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Steiger,
Aye.
Samuelson,
Aye.
Reginator.
Aye. Thank,
Elliot, really quick, what's the spot? What's that little area that's just to the left? Or to the east of them? That little, the triangle, right? Like it says Chatham Avenue.
Yep,
That little is that flood zone?
this area right here.
Or
So
the
that-
little, in the first purple box. I'm assuming that's a zone area if it's,
That's part of HH Norwalk's ground.
There's just a weird parcel line there from how
Okay.
things been chunked
but,
up.
okay,
It's kind of a remnant of prior subdivisions that no longer really fits into what's going on there. So it'll have to be conjoined or re-subdivided.
and I would assume the same thing above in the upper left or right above it to the right.
This,
Yeah,
that's part of our regional detention project.
okay. So many boxes, so little markings.
okay. Item number 11 is a request from Signature Companies for approval of the final plat of Shadow Creek Estates, Townhomes Plat 3. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Yep, so as can be inferred from the title, this would be phase 3 of the townhomes in Shadow Creek Estates. Fairly straightforward. It's 32 units, much like Plat 2 of townhome development. 4 to 6 unit townhome buildings. Pretty much in line with the other phases of the development. And so once they get the private street improvements in place, we'll go through our typical walkthrough procedure. And that will proceed on to city council. So not much else to add. Happy to answer any questions. We do have a representative for the project with us tonight.
Would anyone on behalf of the applicant like to speak on item number 11?
Come on up.
Jared Murray, still Design Advantage, 4121 Northwest Urbandale Drive, Urbandale. I don't really have anything to add to Elliot's summary, but yep, here to answer any questions you guys might have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions by the commission for the applicant or for staff? Seems like a continuation of the other projects that we've approved in this area. We approved the preliminary. Like I needed to say something about an item on the agenda tonight. If there's no further deliberation, I'll entertain a motion to approve this final plat.
Before we make that, where's all,
Sure.
where's the park? All of these going in?
The parkland dedication, it's in the southeast corner of the development, so it's a couple phases away. But we just extended the parkland dedication agreement for this overall subdivision. And ultimately will end up around this area of the drainage corridor. We've kind of conjoined that with the neighboring development to the east as well.
There's a trail along that creek eventually, is it?
Correct.
Is that how they'll access it?
There's access off
That or
of
we have to
there.
fly to get to it or?
There's probably developments in Shadow Creek that'll be.
Yeah,
And there's also a trail that goes from the Beardsley Trail through the neighborhood alongside this road and eventually will go south and have a connection to that.
Yeah, cause that parcel goes all the way back to the golf course, right?
Yep.
And
correct.
the plan is that eventually.
Yep,
goes that way back.
PUD terminates right where the change in grass cover is at.
the long-term plan is for there to be a greenway trail that comes down along the creek through the Saddle Ridge development. Will then come over into the Shadow Creek. And then it'll have to jump up it and be an on-street trail that goes west before it then gets back, because we can't take a trail through the golf course, so you gotta wind it around, but then there's another big drainage way west of Legacy that it's intended to go down and provide a more scenic trail path than our side paths we have right now, so.
So I know it's a few phases away, but how soon will we be looking for this park? I guess when I think of developments, in any of it, I feel like our park should be somewhere within the first years of seeing sometimes the development. It doesn't sound like or even look like it's gonna get there for quite a few. I mean, is this a development that's gonna be like 10 years or
I don't
years?
think it's intended to be 10 years, but it's really just market driven. As they sell lots, they'll bring further plats online. The reason, I mean, typically parkland would be dedicated much sooner, I guess, but just where this one kind of lies on the southern edge of the development, it doesn't really, it's tough to get access to it without having the development come first from the north, so.
Any other deliberation by the commission? There's nothing else. I'll entertain a motion to approve the final plat.
Thompson motions.
Grant second.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Grant,
Aye.
Caldwell,
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Steiger.
Aye.
Samuelson,
Aye.
Force,
Aye.
Reginator.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Item number 12 is a city council update from George. Anything for us tonight, George?
No, I don't think so.
Great.
So I wish, yeah.
Thank you. I know Holly isn't joining us tonight. Next up, Luke, What update do you have for us?
Not a lot. I'll keep it brief. You may have seen some dirt moving up at Quick Start site, so they're starting work on that, so that's exciting. We're sitting at 29 building permits for residential townhomes and single family through, or in March itself. Hillary, do you remember where we're at on the year, like 60 some? Yeah, sorry, you don't have to look. But we're chugging along good with permits on the residential side with things. And then at an upcoming council work session, one of the things that we're looking at doing as an upcoming project is a revamp of our zoning ordinance. Usually when you do your comp plan, then you come back around a couple years later and you look at your zoning ordinance again. So I'm putting together a presentation for one of their work sessions about the zoning ordinance and the process and all that. And so I will plan on giving you guys that presentation around that same time too. So probably one of our April meetings. Get to listen to me talk about zoning for a while. Sorry.
I was thinking it was something completely different. So I'm asking.
Sure.
What is the true zoning or amendment for our fence? Does chicken wire count?
No. I don't believe so, right?
Chicken wire is listed as a prohibited material.
So doesn't the house that's on the main highway look like it's chicken wire?
It's chain link.
It's, yeah, we've looked into it.
Though eventually, isn't there
I
a
hear you.
city project to come through and kind of?
We
wall it off?
do, in the CIP, we have a project to look at a decorative wall. That would be installed on both sides of the highway, basically where all the fences are at now. Lindsay, our city clerk, is managing that project. I don't think she's taken anything to council yet. I know they've got a couple design elements that we gotta look through and consider. Obviously have different costs with each one, so that's kind of the next step with that, but.
That's not too far away, is it?
No, but it's, I think it's a 2025 CIP project, so it would be something that would be installed after July 1 of 24. I don't know if that'd end up being fall or spring, but yeah.
Does not look like chicken wire.
Elliot, any update for us?
I don't really have a community development update, but I'm sure that all of you probably saw the update about a staff member that we lost over the weekend, and having somebody closely connected to PD in our department, that's a big ball of suck. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't say something about that. I never met Officer Spur, but and you know, didn't hear much about him, which I don't know, sometimes no news is good news in that line of work. But after learning of his illness, heard good things about him as an individual. And so, you know, we're thinking about him, we're thinking about PD, and no fun, but just wanted to say something about that. So, no community development stuff. I will have agenda items for, I guess that's my community development.
Will there be a police or a?
I believe they are planning a visitation right now on Wednesday and then the funeral Thursday.
Will there be a, what did you?
Like a motorcade?
Yeah, motorcade at all?
I would assume so. I think they're still working through all the details of that, so. But yeah, I would assume there will be.
Yes, thank you for adding that, Elliot. I think everyone on the commission would echo your sentiments there. Our next meeting is gonna be April 8th at 5:45 PM. And if there's nothing further, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. In a second, please.
Motion.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 6:14 PM. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jeff and Andrew.
Yeah, thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
feel better, man.
You need
Yeah. See you guys.
instead of somebody get up and change your clock for you, like get it in the normal time or